What up, Madden Lift? How you doing? We're doing good, man. We're doing good. The dog is expected to make a full recovery. He's eating, drinking, sleeping, running around. Pretty happy about it. Gonna put him on stream pretty soon. All right, everybody, welcome to a beautiful Friday. I hope you guys are doing well, getting ready for the weekend. Let's take a look-see here. A couple of disclaimers before we start off. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just a trader trading my own shit. For all the tools that I'll be using on stream, they can be found on the bapigindicator.com website. These guys make the best mathematics-based indicators on TradingView. Also, check them out. They have a bunch of free tools available to improve your P&L. Also, get you away from all that TA nonsense. So there's a referral link in the description of the stream. We also have a link to our Discord as well, so come join us there. Come hang out, come ask questions, and learn something new. I also have a Twitter available. Come follow me there. I'll be doing my best to post some occurrences outside of the stream and hopefully provide you guys with some value. All right, let's get into it. The plan for today is to do a quick market overview, spot a couple of things, and hopefully get set up for next week. Let's take a look, see what's going on with the markets. Did you guys manage to catch the dog stream last night? How was that? All right, let's take a look at the indices here. Australia, starting off in Australia. Yes, I believe we were mentioning yesterday that, hey, still likely higher volatility in the future. Still, that remains to be the case. The SSR is now moving up, should be expecting up moves here as it is above the dew line, and the XCM is printing greens. For what it's worth, Bali was mentioning yesterday that the dew and the XCM is still in beta, so it's getting peer reviewed currently. So take that as you will. They seem to get their shit as fast as possible out just so that we can make use of it trading. Thank you very much for that. Let's take a look at how Germany's doing. Not much of a change in a lot of the indices. Once we get to the US ones, we'll take a look at the weekly ones as well, just because it is the end of the week. Yay. Germany, same kind of stance above the dew, XCM printing greens, volatility is picking up, getting up there for a 79 read, and SSR is moving up. As long as that persists, I would be expecting up moves here, not down moves. Russia, the beautiful motherland, wasn't doing too hot. It got a very big bout of volatility here. I'm not expecting very much of a further drop, and if it does happen, it certainly shouldn't be expected to be so intense. At least that's my assumption, as I'm looking for lower volatility here in the future. We have seen bouts before. I don't know if I can find them here. I will do my best to point them out later on, where we got a bout of volatility, then it cooled off, then we went down further again. So that is possible. Remember, price is random. We do have odds on it. It just, my expectation here is lower volatility, so I'm not expecting fireworks. Entropy is picking back up, nothing too significant here, and suggesting some sort of mean reverting move here on the SSR. What's up, Inkosh? Hi guys, I hope you guys not angry with me. I'm not sure who you are, Jack, but welcome. I'm certainly not angry with you. If somebody else has beef with you, good luck. Unk banned, I think, for a month. Okay. Well, you know, just do your best to add value. All right. Moscow, very similar kind of stance. Entropy is ticking back up, very high volatility, should expect lower volatility in the future. SSR is also in mean reversion, should be expecting the moves to come to the downside as the dew and XCM is printing greens. Got a nice play off of the 1% cone. That's mostly done now. Here looking ASMR crowd didn't want to hear about random walk or what? Oh no. Yes, let's get these price targets. Let's let's make very definitive statements about where price is going to go next so that we're ready for these massive moves. All right. UK 100 volatility still picking up. My expectation here is that it will continue to pick up, although it is at that 60 line. The time to bet on it was over here when the HVP was printing greens. Right now, probably just hang tight if you're already in the trade. What else can we say about this? SSR is moving up on it, so this is some sort of a trending move. Not much move on the SS itself with the dots here. We'll have to wait and see what happens next week. A lot of the indices, let's say in the Western world, are have this kind of stance. Just got above the dew line. The XCM is printing greens. Volatility still has room to go and is picking up. And the SSR is doing something trending. China, big massive move has come for China. Not much today. Not much today. Is this market still open? Yes, it is. Still got 8 hours on it. As long as these conditions persist, I would expect this to continue. No, excuse me. I'm going to change that viewpoint from the SSR perspective. It did get outside of the band. I'm not expecting for it to continue in this fashion. Likely some mean reversion in the near future. When we're talking about mean reversion, remember that we are talking about returns, not price. There is no mean in price. HSI actually looking negative when compared to the China market, which would make it seem, well, not make it seem, but the the assumption would be that they are closely correlated because China and HSI share borders. Unk Pao, what's going on? Unk Pao Pao now. Holy shit. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. How you doing? And for actual correlations, I showed off this tool yesterday. We will take a look at it again today. We got mutual information. Fucking powerful stuff. For a description on this, do take a look at yesterday's stream. Also, Dogman was doing a stream on this as well, I believe. Let's take a look at how much mutual information there actually is between HSI and China A50. Just for shits and giggles. Very low mutual information at 0.09. Wow. So the assumption, my personal assumption was that hey, they're close related because they share borders. Doesn't seem to be the case, as math proves me wrong once again. 0.09 is how much information we can expect on this asset by looking at HSI. HSI expecting down moves here as volatility is picking up below the do, and XCM is printing greens, or excuse me, reds. Likely higher volatility in the future, likely to start a trending move soon as you are outside of the SSR band. Let's take a look at Japan. Japan yet again a very high block of volatility here, likely lower volatility in the future. Hasn't started cooling quite yet, but that is the assumption here. If you're an options trader, this is the time to sell some options. Not financial advisor, not financial advice, but do take a look at how you can sell volatility in order to profit from it. AC Trade has a lot of great resources on that. Scobies, welcome. Let's take a look at Nikkei. Nikkei still got some room, but making it kind of confusing at 52 HVP read there right on the midline. Could go either way. SSR is picking up as you are getting a move to the downside. I would assume that likely to continue to the downside in the immediate future. Not nice at all. Okay, let's get into the US stuff. Are the big massive moves incoming? Some volatile dude. Yovi, how about that flower of life on the chart? Remember, there are no straight lines in the universe. Okay, I've been fucking okay. For the entire day today, I've wasted so much goddamn time. I've been on a Terrence Howard sprint of his theory that 1 times 1 equals 2, and it's just so fucking funny when, you know, people say something that sounds mathematical, and then he'll say a bunch of shit that isn't, like, it's not math. He'll just say, well, where have you seen this in real life? Like, what does he use? He's like, oh, action plus action has a reaction, therefore 1 plus 1 can't equals 1, you know? And it's like okay, guy, good luck with that. Yeah, I've just been on a rip, and the shit is so funny. I would highly recommend. I posted some shit on Discord. It's pretty funny. He always dodges the question. Like, anytime somebody actually asks him, hey, like, why would this make sense? And they would propose something mathematical, he'd be like, well, have you ever been at a party with your friend and then they started dancing to music? And it's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're just nuts. Let's get back into it. Dow Jones having a nice upstart to the day. 5 minutes to market open. SSR printing greens and moving on up. Nice. I would expect this to continue for the time being. There's 10-minute wait until you can comment. What? Why? Oh, when you first fall. Okay. I will remove that soon. Trader Jeremy, what's going on? He needs to philosophize some bitches. Yeah, exactly. Likely higher volatility in the future. We'll see how the week ends here. So far, as long as the do is printing, the do is the price is above the do and the XCM is printing greens, I would expect the big moves to come to the upside. This day is by no means done. It's not even started. 5 minutes till start. By that time, Bali should be able to comment on my stream, hopefully. Yes, SSR is moving up, so likely same behavior in the near future. We do have to check and see how this day actually closes. S&P 500 Very similar stance. SSR is picking up, but not printing greens quite yet. Likely higher volatility in the future, and looks like a nice upstart to the day off of the first expected move already. Nasdaq, very similar stance. Yeah, these markets do seem to be in a very similar position. Something I want to look at before we move on to cryptos and whatnot is actually the weekly, because we're gonna get the weekly close today. So let's do that now. Let's get the expected moves up there. Yes, getting to the second expected move. Almost, maybe even touch it today at 47.38. That would be nice. A couple of things of note here. Very low volatility. So next couple of weeks, not couple of weeks, next 30 weeks, next year, let's say, next 30 bars, let's say. The expectation here is that they will be much more volatile, especially when compared to this area here. Does that mean direction? No, it does not. But it should mean opportunity in volatility. If you're trading options, again, I would highly stress that you learn options, because you can actually make bets on volatility. My expectation here is that these weeks will get crazier and crazier and crazier. As long as the do is positive here, no, I should word that differently. As long as price is above the do and the XCM is printing greens, I would expect the big moves to come to the upside. One thing of note here, actually, when I was looking at this, maybe I was looking at Nasdaq. Yeah, I was looking at Nasdaq. One thing of note here is, especially on Nasdaq, is that the SSR is outside of the lower band here. So this has been some sort of a mean reverting move. Do pay attention to this over the course of the next couple of weeks, as we are likely to start something new. Like, this area is a great demonstration of SSR in action here. You got 3 weeks with very similar behavior in returns. Had a nice up move. Ricky, welcome. Where are you guys from? A lot of people joining today. Wow, welcome. Happy Friday. Yes, a 33-year massive moving. Yeah. HVZ is high on Nasdaq, but it's not outside of the band yet. It's on an extreme, and we've seen this kind of behavior before with the HVZ, especially when you get a rising volatility environment where we'll go outside of an extreme, do a little reset, and then move higher on the HVZ. The HVP, for me, it's a more long-term metric because I am sampling 365 periods here, whereas this is more local extreme. Unk gets them over. Thank you very much. Fucking putting in the marketing work. Holy shit, that's that should be my job. But look at this guy, man. Fuck it, Jesus Christ. Is SSR directional or like QCV, HE, etc.? So SSR is suggesting self-similarity of returns. So how likely is this return to be similar to the previous return that it's comparing itself to? Hey, welcome to the market open. That's what it's measuring. So it's directional in a sense, but direction has to come first, essentially, right? Like if this was a down candle or a down return, and the SSR started moving up on a down return, I would be expecting more downside, not more upside. It is extremely quick. So we do actually have to wait for the signal. You know, we can't front run it. We can take some assumptions when it's outside some sort of an extreme, that hey, this move is unlikely to persist, it's gone outside of the band, it's unlikely to persist, or there's likely some new trending move that's about to start when it's outside the bottom band. Yeah, SSR mom, very powerful, especially with the R squared on there. All right, let's take a look at S&P. The S&P HVZ is extremely high. Yes, that is true. It is outside of the band, so probably does take a little bit of time to cool off. But when I'm looking at HVP, I'm looking at it over the next, 120 weeks, which is a long ass time. That's 2 years, just for context, right? All right. When we look on a shorter time frame, I think there's more volatility to be had here. As long as the do is positive here, as long as the mom is positive and SSR is moving up, I'm expecting the moves to come to the upside. We will have to wait and see if that does come about. So yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. I wanted to mention the weekly SSR. Hey, look for something new to start soon, especially on the NASDAQ as it is outside of the band. And likely higher volatility over the course of the next year. So that's very significant. So far, the direction remains up. Pay attention to your momentum tools for any change in that stance. All right, let's take a look at cryptos. Big, massive moves incoming. All right, looks like Tone Vase got fucked again. His triangle got ran both ways now. His perfect visualized geometry mathematics like he likes to draw. Yes, this is why we use math and probabilities instead of just fucking nonsense. All right, looks like a bit of an up move to start the morning at the first expected move already. Yes, at 49,373. What can we expect for today? Well, that is your first expected move. The second expected move comes in at 52. Excuse me, let me take the do off. They are the same, 52.12. And the third one at 54,502 if things get insane. Similarly to the downside, the expected moves are 45,862, 43,295, and 41,112. If there's any juice on the daily options left, I haven't checked myself. Hey, you could structure some trades off those too. Nice. Quantum visual geometry. Yes, exactly. Scobies, hello, how are you? Also, just so you know, you have new followers. Can't talk for 10 minutes, hence I'm not. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I've turned that on so that there are a lot of bots that seem to be just scavenging, but maybe I'll turn that off because who cares? You guys know what bots look like. They always try to make me famous super quick, and yeah, they're very unsuccessful at that. Which one would be more volatile, up or down for BTC? So okay, this is a very interesting question, but I think it may be structured incorrectly. In general, down moves are intense but less significant, meaning they take a shorter duration of time to occur, for example like this, but they are not as significant as the up moves. Maybe I can show this in like real time. Like this was an extremely intense move, but it was not as significant as the entire rest of the year, right? So this is true for most assets. About 80% of the assets will share a statistic like this. So volatility can come in either way. Like price is random, obviously, but the thing about price is that if you're betting on downside, right, like your max payout is between 0% and 100%, whereas if you're betting on upside, your max payout is between 0% and infinity%. And it just, which trade would you rather take? Right, and also you can describe it as drift. A lot of the markets share drift, but I won't get into that today. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that answers your question. Also, Bali was sharing a statistic between the S&P 500 and the Bitcoin that was pretty. I meant for current situation. Which one would be more volatile, up or down? The question doesn't make sense. Like, volatility can take place up or down, right? It's just your down moves are going to be intense but less significant, and your up moves are going to be over a much longer period of time, so less intense but more significant. Yeah. Bali was sharing a statistic last week, I believe. He was comparing the frequency of volatility between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin, and what he found out was that volatility was much more frequent in S&P 500, so calls would pay more often, but much less significant. So when Bitcoin had volatility, the calls would pay out much more, but it occurred much less frequently than in the S&P 500. So hopefully those statistics will help you make better assumptions on the markets. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's get into it. So this last, I guess we have to wait for this to close. But if this closes like this, this does seem to be some sort of a mean reverting move. Whereas, you know, all of this, when did this start? Like over here was trending move on the SSR. So do keep an eye out on this for the start of something new. So far, as we remained negative since the due turn, we were expecting the big moves to come to the downside as the XCM was printing reds and the price was below the due. We did end up getting that. We saw a nice play off of the 1% cone here. Let's take a look at on the high here. What is 31 bars? Yes, 31 bars. Getting pretty damn close to 1% there. As we know, price is random, but not everything is as likely to occur. So this was a nice play, if you took a chance on the 1% there. I did not. I'm still in my bet on the volatility trade. I'm essentially direction neutral, but I'm using a pretty shitty product to do it, as is denoted on the side of the screen there. All right, what else can we note about BTC? Yeah, likely higher volatility in the near future as this is picking up now, likely to the downside as long as the XCM persists, and look for something new to start on the SSR. Let's take a look at the 7-day as well. The 7-day is also in a very precarious position with the XCM printing reds now, volatility being very low and potentially going higher in the near future, and the SSR also being outside of the band here. This is pretty significant, as our assumption here should be that, hey, something trending is likely to start in the near future. Keep an eye out on that. The expected moves for this week to the upside are 53 for 11, 62, I think. Hang on, stuff. I gotta change the color on the due as it's the same color as my expected moves. 62.15 and 79.18 if things get insane, and similarly to the downside, 43.791, 37,835 and 33,179. There isn't much time left and volatility is very low, so I would assume that the price stays between the first expected moves and closes somewhere there, and then next week we'll have to reassess. This is shared across many markets, this low HVP reading on the weekly. So over the course of the next 30-45 weeks, do look for things to pick up and get pretty damn intense, because the weekly volatility is pretty crazy. Hey, I'm new here, can you explain the indicators if possible? Currently no. I take a look at the older streams that I did. Also at market close, Dogman, a gentleman from our Discord, does streams that dives into the concepts behind this. He does it from a perspective of somebody who's learning, and that may be you, so I do highly recommend that. We'll post a link to that on the stream as well. I'm here just to trade, just to look over the markets and make some money and hopefully bring you guys along on my journey. Yes. If there are any stocks that you want me to look at, do shout them out. A lot of the stuff, like the very important stuff, is really the probability, because it depends on how you're taking bets, but you should at least know like what you're betting on, and we'll definitely be taking a look at probability on the stream as well. All right. Some Volatile dude says, I'll find one of his older stream where he explains the free indies. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, also the no, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. All right, let's get into the probabilities here on Bitcoin. What are we likely to see over the next 30 days? Let's take the wick low there at 41,914 and maybe this high here at 59. Let's call it 60,000 even and 42,000 even. All right, here are your probabilities over the next 30 days. You have a 56% chance of closing within the range between 50, what did we specify here? 60,000 and 16% probability of closing below 42,000 and 30% probability of closing above 60,000. So looking at it, looks like a bet of closing above 42,000 over the next 30 days is a pretty damn decent bet. You have 84% chance of success on that. 84% chance of success. I do want to be clear, as long as the do is negative here and volatility is expanding, and although SSR is not moving up, mom is negative also. I have to remain negative and looking for the big moves to come to the downside. All right, but those are your probabilities for what it's worth. So now you know what you are betting on. All right, let's take a look at some of the individual stocks. Jagoff. Oh my lord, where the fuck do you find these? Where the fuck do you find this? Jesus. Not much I can say. Probably higher volatility in the future, but you're at 48 reads, so realistically it could go either way. It could go either way. SSR is dropping a little bit, doing some sort of mean reversion. The time to make assumptions on it was here. This can pretty much do anything. Nice candle. I don't know how you're finding these. For what it's worth, mom is negative, XCM is negative. So probably the big moves do come to the downside, but see how it closes today. That's crazy. All right, let's take a look at Spell and eGold. I'm assuming you're talking about crypto. I'm not sure if there is yeah, probably crypto. Let's see if we can get more history on this. No. All right, this seems to be something recent or something that doesn't have a lot of data to it. Go back to FTX. Not much we can say from tools perspective on this. Check lower time frames. Yeah, we can definitely do that, but you're gonna get lower time frame results, right? Like your sample data is not gonna go back far enough. It's gonna be correct for the data sampled, but you shouldn't expect daily results by getting probabilities off of the 1 hour. I just want to be clear on that. Over the course, actually, let's take a look at 4 hour. Yeah, likely lower volatility in the future here on the lower time frames. You got some nice plays off of the 1% cone there. Time to take profits. Had a nice pop in volatility off of this area here. Currently I would have to remain negative on the 3 hour basis. Looking for lower volatility on those time frames, probably lower volatility on the 1 hour as well. You are in unlikely land on the cone, but nothing too significant. I personally with assets like these, like this isn't a tradable occurrence. Everything's kind of in the middle of the ranges. There's nothing extreme about this. So I don't want to take this as a trade. If you wanted to add something and have exposure to it, great. Maybe check mutual information so that you are not you're not going outside Kelly. Let's take a look at eGold. Do we have data on this? Yes, we do. Volatility is picking up on eGold, likely to continue here. You should be looking for the big moves to come to the downside as long as the do is printing reds, excuse me, the XEM is printing reds and it's below the do. Some mean reversion on the SSR. Look for a trending move to start in the near future. We can also probably check probabilities on something like this. Yes, over let's say the next 30 days. Let's go 223 and maybe 432. Here are your probabilities. Pretty evenly split between upside and downside, with the most likelihood of staying within the range over the next 30 days. Do be aware of higher volatility. I think this will continue to pick up, although there are no options to play on an asset like this, I would assume. So you might have to gain exposure to it some other way, or we never recommend, well, we don't recommend anything, but personally I wouldn't want to be caught short in anything. I think it's fucking dumb. You can make your own decisions. Likely higher volatility in the future. That's the bet that I would want to make here. All right, let's take a look at let's see here. LRC, this is loopering. It'd be nice to have other metrics like entropy on something like this. It's just not enough history to calculate it. And we can see also the do is a little bit messed with something like this. Let's maybe see if there's one with more history. No, not much. We are in a cooling volatility environment. Being at a 60 read could go either way. HVZ is pretty damn low, and you're likely to start some sort of a trending move here on the SSR as well. You are outside of the bottom of the band, so that's kind of the next bet that I would want to make. You had probably a nice opportunity off the cone. Let's set it 45 bars back. Yeah, it was even outside 0.1%. Wow. Nice play off with the 0.01%, like getting 13 heads in a row. Very decent chances. If you took profits up there, fucking great. For the next bout of volatility, I would probably want this to cool further. Again, it can come in at any point in time. And there's probably a trade in the SSR soon. We'd have to wait for it to start picking up. So far positive, as you are above the do and the XCM, although the do is kind of messed here just because of how fresh this asset is. Yeah, nice. In unlikely land, but hey, nice. Let's take a look at... All right, chat is going. The distribution plays out over time when you win. Yes. Yeah, no worries. No worries, Peter. So is there higher risk in markets compared to others, or are they in general the same? I've never really looked at any of this stuff. You would have to... Yes, some markets carry more risk than others. The way to calculate that is to calculate some sort of a beta, right? And the mutual information has that. So when we compare two assets, we can ask the question of, hey, where are you taking more risk with the information adjusted beta? And we can go off of, for example, the S&P 500. And then we can, oh, excuse me. Oh no, it's SPX 500 USD. Go with that. And then we can look at, for example, Bitcoin. So information adjusted beta, a number of 1 would suggest they have the same risk. Bitcoin has a beta of 2.96, so it is more risky. So yes, you can compare risk. in a mathematical way. Some markets are more risky than other markets. Yes. ETH dumping. Let's take a look at ETH compared to IWM. It's the OTC index. Let's take a look. Compare S&P 500 to IWM. Yeah, IWM carries a little bit more risk than the S&P 500. Let's take a look at Ethereum, the other market favorite, and hey, this carries quite a lot more risk than the S&P 500. Was there a lot of drop in the markets over the last couple of years due to COVID, or has it stayed quite average? Let me speak for myself. I obviously there are events that move markets, obviously, but they are very far and few in between. I don't like assigning a reason to like why the market moved when we could have made a bet on it from probability based perspective and from a volatility based perspective. Probability risk adjusted returns too with omega ratio. Yes, fantastic point. These guys have brought out a tool called the omega ratio. It uses all of the information that is discarded from let me refresh on this 1 second. I believe it's from the Sharpe ratio, not the Cape ratio. From the Sharpe ratio, and it is attempting to provide you with a risk return performance measure of an investment asset portfolio or strategy. It's a probability weighted ratio, so it takes into account probabilities of gains versus losses for some threshold return target. So when you are attempting to ask the question, hey, what asset should I be in? Is it X or Y? Is it Bitcoin or is it the S&P 500? You can use the omega ratio to quickly gauge that. I think I have it up on the chart here. No, not this one. Yes. So a very, very quick overview of this. You are attempting to gauge which one is likely to give you more gains over losses. If one of these assets, the S&P 500 being in the pink with Bitcoin being in the blue. Is this on daily? Yes. Which one is more likely to give you gains versus losses? This takes into account probabilities as well of that. If one of them is on top of the other one, that is giving you an indication, hey, that asset has more likelihood of gains versus losses, so maybe you should participate in that versus the other one. So very, very powerful tool for quickly gauging which asset you want to be in. We can take a look at Ethereum over Bitcoin, for example. Ethereum has higher probabilities of gains versus losses. Powerful stuff. Yeah, higher ratio of gains versus loss. Yes, perfect. Wow, I just blanked on the question I was going to ask. Is this free? Yeah, that's right. Is this a free tool? Unk Pow Pow. Yeah, we'll take a look at Mana USDT. I can't remember if this is a free tool, but this is extreme. It's open and free. Jesus Christ. Put this on your chart. Put this on your chart. Use it to make better decisions. All right. Look at that. Let's take a look at Mana USDT. likely lower volatility in the future. The 2-day volatility is extremely high. The daily is moving down, although the HVZ is kind of squeezing, but likely lower volatility in the future. Probably takes some time to cool this off as it's on its way down. Now it is at the 50 read. As I said before, it's kind of difficult to gauge there as it could go either way. But judging by the 2-day or a longer period, likely lower volatility in the future. Let's take a look at the other stuff. You are still in unlikely territory, being above the 5% cone, so you have a 90% chance of closing within the cone. I know this is a little bit far out, but it's still valid nevertheless. For those of you that are confused about the chances, this has a very nice readout. Being above this cone is like getting 4 heads in a row, 4.32 heads in a row, which can happen, but it's just less likely. So when you're betting, that's something that you should be aware of, especially if you are betting long here. For momentum stuff, MOM has gone negative, R squared is expanding, and the SSR seems to be starting new, so likely as long as those persist, I would expect the immediate move to come to the downside. And it's kind of nice that it's lining up with the cone being in unlikely territory as well. Entropy is now picking back up, suggesting this market is getting more random, so your tools have less chance of working or providing you with an edge. Tone base needs to learn a thing or 12. Yeah. Yeah, tone base has got a has got a long way to go. He's got to graduate triangle school. All right. All right, let's glance at rates quickly. Anything significant here? Not much. The 20s and the 30s are still inverted. That's nothing too crazy, and it's suggesting stuff very far out, but a problem nevertheless. Seem to be moving on downwards. Let's take a look at some currencies. Oh, let's take a look at gold, actually. Take a look at gold. Finance dudes talking sharp and asking for dollars. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They don't even take probabilities into account. They don't even... Jesus Christ. They don't even take probabilities into account. That's fucking nuts. Alright. Gold, very low volatility, not making it easy here with this nice move above the XCM, or excuse me, above the DO with the XCM sprinting green straight down to the below the DO printing red XCMs. I am still expecting higher volatility in gold in the near future. Let's see how the weekly is doing on that. Weekly also not making it easy here at the 50 read. It's just kind of in the middle. It's just kind of in the middle. I don't think there is a bet to be had either way just yet. Maybe a bet on volatility, but you would have to go decently far out, probably 120 days or so. And with the weekly sitting where it is, we could persist in a low volatility environment for a long period of time. That is a possible scenario. There are probably better bets to take elsewhere. Not like yeah, Jesus, true. Let's take a look at the Dixie. Oh yeah, okay, fucking. Also, what mutual information can do for you, as I mentioned yesterday, is remove some of the biases or the assumptions that you may have had about markets. For instance, I had an assumption that when the dollar moves up, that usually correlates to risk assets like the S&P 500 dumping, as well as assets like Bitcoin dumping. They have very low mutual information at 0.05. That's extremely low, as this index from 0 to 1 for mutual information, and it attempts to answer the question, how much can we know about one asset by looking at another asset. So by looking at the US dollar index, we know 0.05% of what's going to happen in the S&P 500, which is extremely low. We use this in place of correlation, as it doesn't have the drawbacks of correlation. It actually considers non-linear relationships as well as linear relationships. So powerful stuff there. Although they are negatively correlated, so when they do share mutual information, it is we should expect them to be having moves in opposite directions. So for example, a move up in the dollar currency index would suggest a move down in risk assets, but with very, very low mutual information. All right. We can also take a look at, for example, difference between Dixie and Bitcoin as well. No, not USD, for example, on Coinbase. 300 days. Yes, also very low mutual information. Also very low mutual information. So you know, there are a bunch of people out there, like especially in the fucking Twitterverse, that say stuff that kind of makes sense, right? Like, oh, dollar moves up, things move down. Oh, that makes sense. But they never put a number behind it. They never quantify that relationship. They just say it and it makes sense, and everybody goes on pretending that it exists, right? And it just doesn't. So yeah, powerful stuff, not only for structuring portfolios, but also for removing your biases. Oh, and hey, look at that. I am finally profitable on my trade, as I am expecting higher volatility in the future. Don't do as I do, please. I was testing out this product on FTX, Bitcoin volatility token, that attempts to track implied volatility of Bitcoin. I'm an idiot. I should have just done it on options on Deribit, because because I would have been profitable by now, but I'm just getting into profit on this asset. Hopefully it continues, as I am expecting higher volatility in Bitcoin. Also, Bitcoin is a great asset for portfolios because I think it shares very low mutual information with the S&P 500. Yes, at 0.09. Powerful. All right, anything else you guys want to cover today? Any other stuff you want to look at? We did mana USDT. Oh, somebody was asking about the time hodlers wanting to look at time. Send me the ticker. Somebody wanted to look at coronavirus. What was the message that he sent here? Let me take a look. See. Did I miss it? I think I missed it. Hang on one second. Go over to this. Was there a lot of drop in the markets over the past couple of years due to COVID, or has it stayed quite average? Price is random. Price can do anything. It just, some things are less likely and some things are more likely. That's all we can look at. Like there isn't an average in price. There's no mean in price. You can do that for returns because they are less random. They're distributed, but there is no such thing as a drop in the markets. Was there a lot of drop in the markets over the past couple of years due to COVID, or has it stayed quite average? Yeah, there is no such thing as staying quite average. But if you're gonna make bets, probably best to do it to the upside. This is the COVID period in Bitcoin, for example. You know, everybody was their shit, and you know, suggesting it is because of COVID. And while that may be, there was a decent assumption to make way before that volatility is going to be higher in the future. I want to be clear that it does not predict this. This could have come in a much smaller fashion, a much less intense fashion. But if you are going to bet on higher volatility, fantastic free tool is the HVP. Help you time a little bit better, because the thing you should have been assuming here is higher volatility in the future. We got the Rona dump, we got extremely high volatility, and it actually denoted a pretty decent bottom, as you should have been expecting lower volatility in the future, and we got that as well. Powerful stuff. Can you explain something about BTC lengthening cycle? People are telling different biases. I don't know what a lengthening cycle is. Yeah, they are all fucking idiots. Okay. Most assets, about 80% of them, will go up over time. will like disregard like the black swan events. Obviously, like a company can go bankrupt, right? Forget about that. But most of 80% of them will go up over time, just because of drift, right? And and for the people that gauge things in cycles, they are drawing lines that do not exist and giving them significance. There's nothing significant about their cycles. There is volatility, right, which is the standard deviation of returns, which we can make bets on. We can suggest, hey, volatility is low here, we should expect it to be higher in the future. We never know how much higher. We never, for example, this period, you know, we got to a 50 and then we had a drop in volatility again. In this period, we had a pretty decent rise in volatility, but over time, most markets will go up, and that's just because when you bet on the downside, your max return is 100%, and the chances of that occurring are infinitesimally small. I hope I got that word right. And when you're betting on the upside, your upside is infinite, and granted, that also has a lower chance of happening, right? Almost none. But it just if you ask most people which one would you rather bet on, they want to bet on the upside. So just, you know, it's not like it's a Ponzi, although Ponzi's do exist. It's just how markets function. So there is no such thing as like if I draw a magic line here and then I draw it here and I call it a cycle, it doesn't make it a fucking cycle. It just doesn't. And I know there's having cycles and supply stuff, that's fine, but I don't see how you make decisions based on that, especially when it comes to time in the market, as well as directional bets or probability bets. VRT is proof. Exactly. We have this fantastic free indicator which denotes the BA Pig team. I don't program any of this stuff. I am just an avid enjoyer of these guys' work. Let me see, I should have it. Where is it? VRT variance ratio test. God damn it. Okay, so the hypothesis is that markets follow a random walk. Like if you were to simulate a random walk in Mathematica, for example, you would get an image very, very close to a price of a stock. And VRT is attempting to answer the question, are there times when market does not follow a random walk? And yes, there are times when the market does not follow a random walk. They are very far and few in between, and those are the times that it actually makes sense to quote-unquote trade. For the rest of the time, you just want to have exposure to assets in such a fashion that is optimal, that will not blow you up, so that you get to enjoy returns when they are there, and get to build a nice little pool for yourself. That is a much better overview, or not overview, that's a much better story to tell yourself when describing the market, because number one, it's based in reality, which is proven by mathematics, and number two, it will help you make better decisions, because this is what the TA people do. They make everything so deterministic. They say because price did this is going to happen next. It's like built off of if-then statements. You have to accept that price is just randomness. You're looking at random stuff. They always look for why. Exactly. You're looking at random stuff. Now, some stuff is less random than other stuff. For example, over here, you know, we had a play off of the 1% cone. Let me go back to it. I think this is 30. Excuse me, 31. You had a play off of the 1% cone. Price had a 99% chance of staying within the cone, right? It was just a decent place to take a chance. It doesn't mean that price can't go lower. It doesn't mean that at all. It just, if we're gonna take bets, you have to know the odds. This is what we look at. We look at odds and we say, hey, decent place to take a bet. That's all it is. We don't say if price does this, then that, then draw a triangle, then, you know, do an upside down kick flip, and then you'll make money. No, if it was that simple, everybody would be drawing triangles and the world poverty would be solved and we would all be Jeff Bezos. It's just, yeah, they ask why a random thing did something random, then wonder why they can't get it right. Yeah, exactly. Head and shoulders forming on BTC 33-year time frame. Yeah, just fucking, just don't engage in nonsense and test what they say for bullshit. Because if you think about it hard and long enough, like, can I get rich by drawing triangles? Does that really make sense to you? And if it doesn't, maybe be a little bit skeptical and figure out how those people got to where they are and what they're actually trying to sell you. Because a lot of them are trying to sell you a course, a lot of them, or an indicator, or some fucking psychology lesson, or a trading journal, or just fucking nonsense. All right, let's take a look at time. That's my rant for the day. Wow, in coach is not a happy guy today. He is not a happy guy today. Price of time continuing inverted McDonald's symbol on at 15 minute. Yes, exactly. Not a lot of data on this, probably higher volatility in the future, but again, your sampling data is very, very small. The SSR is outside of the band here, so likely to do some sort of mean reversion in the near future. I would not expect it to persist in this fashion. That's about all I can say. As long as the DO and the XCM are negative here, I would expect the big moves to come to the downside, but I just wouldn't expect this type of behavior to persist right here, right now. Not looking nice. I can't get a probability here for you. Maybe I can get one on a lower time frame. Even the lower time frame doesn't have much. You got a nice play off of the 1% cone, but it's pretty damn skewed to the downside. I think that's mostly played out now. Oh, you're still earning rebases. Okay. So time hodler is going to be the test subject for also very high volatility on the 1 hour. It's going to be the test subject on whether rebasing prevents you from being poor. We wish him the best of luck in his new adventure, but it also sounds to me like somebody's getting fucking ripped off under that system. But I haven't looked into it, to be fair. It just my hunch is that there's no free cheese other than in a mousetrap. All right. Anything else we want to take a look at today? I think I'm gonna leave you guys there. And I'm going to wish you a very, very happy weekend. We're gonna be back on Monday, and Dogman is going to be streaming for the market close. His streams, as I mentioned before, are much more focused on learning, on education behind the concepts on this stuff. So do check them out, especially if you're starting out. They can be a helpful resource, whereas over here we do our best just to spot occurrences, make money, and get rich. Yes. All right. Yeah, have a happy weekend, guys, and we'll see you back on Monday. Watch that for price being geometric brown motion. Yes, exactly. Do you guys want to rate a streamer, or do you guys want to just go on your trading day? I'm taking votes. No. Okay, in coach is a no vote. It's not on. Yeah, no worries, guys. It's my pleasure. Thank you guys so much for making it out. I really hope you enjoyed it. Mike suckers only. Okay. No, got it. Okay, so no. All right, so it's a no for today. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I am still going to veto the vote and send you guys over to a nice lady streamer. So if you got parents in the room, if you got girlfriends in the room, if you got boyfriends in the room, maybe it's time to put those away. I mean, the stream is marked 18+, so should be okay. All right, let's find someone. They'd be in the pools and hot tub section. God damn it, I can't believe they have a section for this. Jesus Christ. How is this legal? Okay, I got one. All right. All right. Have a good weekend, guys. Good luck. Good luck out there.
Nice. And then these are the matching bikini bottoms, which are kind of similar to the first bottoms in the sense that they are high leg